Ladies and gentlemen, we're raising the bar tonight as we dive into those not-so-perfumed dark corners of history. Times ruled by plagues and pottage. Forget the sparkling castles and knights with windswept hair that Hollywood sold you. The truth is, if you survived even a single day back then, you'd declare yourself the luckiest person alive. But before we dive in, don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. Also, let me know in the comments. Where are you joining us from and what time is it there? It's a brilliant feeling to see people from all over the world here. Now dim the lights, lean back, and let's glide together into the bizarre atmosphere of the year 1325. You opened your eyes. But where? Congrats! You just woke up on a morning in 1325. The good news, you're breathing. The bad news, so are the fleas in your bed. Your bed is actually nothing more than a half-rotten sack filled with straw. Don't even dream of memory foam, soft pillows, or Egyptian cotton sheets. You only have a wool blanket that hasn't been washed since last winter and is now heavy with accumulated grime. Your so-called home is a windowless, open-concept shack where the whole family, and of course the animals, live together. The smell? A masterpiece. A blend of stale beer, sweat, goat, and 1,000 other scents you pray aren't what you think they are. You're only in your 20s, but by medieval standards, that's basically midlife. As you get up from the floor, the sound from your knees is like a bag of stones being shaken. The bathroom, a grand adventure. This is the moment you start missing the modern world. No flush, no paper. If you're a peasant, your bathroom is that famous wooden bucket behind the house. When you're done, you just dump everything out the window onto the street. The town streets are basically open sewers. And for toilet paper? Whatever you can find. Straw, leaves, moss. Do you understand now why shaking hands wasn't very popular back then? How about a beer for breakfast? Breakfast is a sticky pottage that's been simmering in the same pot for days, containing who knows what. Alongside it is a piece of bread hard enough to break your teeth. And what are you drinking? Aaron? No, beer at 6 in the morning. Because in those times, drinking water was equivalent to suicide due to parasites. Even children drink that low-alcohol beer. At least it doesn't kill you instantly. The rag on your back probably hasn't been taken off in years. You're constantly itching because lice and bedbugs are living on your body as rent-free tenants. There's no escape. Everyone is infested, from the nobles to the monks. Look, ma'am, if you lived in that era and there was still room for you to be buried in the churchyard, you were lucky. Yes, life in the Middle Ages was purely brutal and short. Death awaited you around every corner. You didn't have dreams like, I'll retire and move to a seaside town. One day would come and you'd just stop appearing. Let's set aside that famous medieval dream, because that dream isn't actually very sweet. How would your day go? Imagine waking up in filth, handling your morning business in a bucket, and your only hope while brushing your teeth is hoping it's actually getting clean. You're about to faint from hunger. You work in the fields until your spine screams, "Enough!" You struggle inside itchy wool clothes and beg not to catch the plague. On top of all that, you narrowly escape public execution just for owning a squirrel. Welcome to a standard day in medieval Europe. Do you still dream of those fiery knights and noble ladies in towers? I'd say, think again. Those candlelit banquets and polished swords only exist in fairy tales. The real world was dirty, cruel, and terrifyingly unjust. Hierarchy was everything. If you were born poor, you stayed poor. If you were rich, congrats. Your chance of survival was a bit higher, but you were still just one bad soup away from being hastily buried due to dysentery. Even nobles couldn't escape this misery. Those famous castles were actually drafty stone refrigerators, smoke-filled and crawling with fleas. You might have a fur cloak, but the chance of dying in a skirmish or from a tiny infected splinter was 50%. Simple times weren't simple at all. Everything hurt. Everything had a heavy price, from giving birth to chewing food. Life was a struggle. Yet despite all this, people still laughed, sang songs, and fell in love. Not because life was easy, but because we are stubborn. Even in the darkest chapters, they made room for light. Tonight, when you crawl into your clean, warm bed with indoor plumbing and central heating, you owe a silent thank you to the modern world and to your ancestors who fought through all this misery for you.